Today we're going to talk about major and minor triads. Scale degrees are important. Scale degrees are the numbers assigned to each note of the scale. So they're super easy. They're 1 through 8. For C major, those are the notes of your scale, and the scale degrees attached to each note. So scale degree 1, scale degree 2, E is scale degree 3, F is scale degree 4. And the scale degrees are marked with this little hat, which is called a caret, C-A-R-E-T, not to be confused with the vegetable. Second example, B flat major, there it is, B flat C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. And the scale degrees that correspond with those notes, 1 through 8, with the carets on top. And our last example, we'll look at C sharp major, which is all the notes sharped, and the scale degrees that correspond with those are as such. Scale degrees are important in this discussion because a triad is made up of the first, third, and fifth scale degrees of your scale. We're going to look at major triads. These are the easiest ones. From the root of your triad to the fifth of your triad will be a perfect fifth. And if you recall from when we did intervals, the perfect fifth is just the normal fifth scale degree of your scale. Not lowered, not raised, just as it should be normally. The third of your triad is going to be a major third above the root. And as you learned when you did intervals, the major third is the third that is exactly the same as the normal third scale degree of the scale. So not raised, not lowered, just as it should be. Let's take our first example. D major scale. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. We really only care about the first, third, and the fifth. So that's D, that's the first scale degree. F sharp, that's the third scale degree. A, that's the fifth scale degree. As we learned up here with major triads, you're not going to change the fifth, you're not going to change the third. You're going to keep them just exactly how they are on the scale. So D natural, or D with no accidental, F sharp, and A natural, or A with no accidental. So that's exactly what we have when we look at our D major triad. We have D, scale degree 1. We have F sharp, scale degree 3. And we have A, scale degree 5. And the third and the fifth scale degrees are no different than you see here. F sharp, A natural. All right, let's go to a different example. C major. So again, we are looking at the root, the third, the fifth, and we're not going to change any of the accidentals. So in this case, there are no accidentals. So it should be C natural, E natural, G natural. That gets us a C major triad, C, E, G. And our last example, a piano player's worst nightmare, C flat major. So we need our major triad to be built from the first, the third, and the fifth without changing anything. So that means we need a C flat, we need an E flat, we need a G flat. That will get us our C flat major triad. There it is. Okay, the one difference between major triads and minor triads is the third scale degree. So let's look at some minor triads. Same as major, from the root to the fifth is going to be a perfect fifth, which means the fifth scale degree of your triad will be exactly the same as the fifth scale degree of your major scale. No changes. This is where the third comes into play. From the root to the third of a minor triad is a minor third. That's why it's called a minor triad. It has a minor third. The third scale degree of your minor triad will be 1/2 step lower than the third scale degree of your major scale. So you're going to lower the third by 1/2 step. But remember, you have to keep the letter name the same. So you're lowering the note 1/2 step by changing just the accidental, not changing the letter name of the note, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. Okay, example 1, D major. Here it is again. So according to the definition of a minor triad, we're not going to change the 5th scale degree. Whatever it is here is what it will be in our triad. So we need D on the bottom, we need A on the top, and then for the minor third, we're going to take the 3rd scale degree, F sharp, and lower it 1/2 step. A 1/2 step lower than a sharp is a natural. So we need D, F natural, and A. And of course, we don't need to write the natural. If there's no key signature, it's assumed that all the notes are natural to begin with. So just D, F, A. There's your D minor triad. Second example, also a pretty easy one. C major, no sharps, no flats. We need the 5th to be exactly the same as it is here. That would be G. We need C on the bottom, G on the top, and we need the 3rd scale degree 1/2 step lower. So a 1/2 step lower than natural, which is no accidental, is a flat. So we need C, G, and E flat to make our C minor triad. Here it is, C, E flat, G. Okay, now we're going to go to the crazy one. C flat major, where every note is already flatted. We need scale degree 1, the same as it looks here. We need scale degree 5, the same as it looks here. And then we need scale degree 3, a 1/2 step lower. So a 1/2 step lower than a flat is a double flat. That is the purpose of double flats. So here it is, C flat, E double flat, G flat. Now you might remember how on the keyboard, which I wish I had here, but I don't, on the piano keyboard, an E double flat is the same note as D, just normal white key D. The reason that we can't say C flat, D, G flat is because if we change the letter name, we no longer have every other letter of the alphabet. So by definition, we would not have a triad, even though it sounds exactly the same as C flat, E double flat, G flat. We have to spell it using some type of a C, some type of an E, and some type of a G. So that is the purpose of double flats. And then as you might suspect, if we had, C sharp major where everything's already sharp, the way that we would raise our 3rd scale degree E sharp is by using a double sharp. So those are the basics of major and minor triads.